There was a version of you that had potential. Not the version scrolling right now. Not the version making excuses. The version that once believed he was meant for something more. What happened to him? He didn't disappear. He got outvoted by his own mind. Nobody told you this growing up. You are living with a voice in your head that is designed to keep you small. Not safe, small. It tells you to rest when you should push. It tells you to scroll when you should build. It tells you later when you know it means never. And every time you obey it, you reinforce weakness. Not dramatically, not instantly, quietly. And that's how average is built. Quiet obedience to weak thoughts. Let me describe your day. You wake up tired. The first thing you reach for is your phone. Not sunlight, not movement, not purpose. Dopamine. Before your feet even touch the floor, your discipline is already compromised. You tell yourself, just 5 minutes. It becomes 30. You rush your morning. You postpone your workout. You delay your goals. And by night, you feel that quiet guilt, that whisper, I could have done more. That's not laziness. That's loss of mental authority. Here's the brutal truth. You don't lack ambition. You lack control. Your mind is running you, and it's addicted to comfort. Your brain evolved to conserve energy, to avoid discomfort, to seek pleasure. But growth requires the opposite: discomfort, effort, delayed gratification. So the moment things get hard, your mind pulls you back, and you listen. That's why you stay average. Not because you can't win, because you won't override. There comes a moment in every man's life when he gets tired of disappointing himself. Not angry at the world, angry at the mirror. You look at yourself and think, I know I'm capable of more. That moment, that's the split. One path leads to comfort. One path leads to control. Most choose comfort. A few choose mastery. The difference? One decision repeated daily. The first battle is dopamine. If your brain is overstimulated, discipline feels painful. If you constantly feed it reels, gaming, junk food, endless entertainment, you lower your tolerance for effort. Then, when it's time to study, to train, to build something meaningful, it feels unbearable. Not because it's hard, because your brain is weak. So what does a dangerous man do? He starves the noise. He limits cheap pleasure. He embraces boredom. He learns to sit still. And in that silence, his focus sharpens. The second battle is internal dialogue. Pay attention to your thoughts. I'm too tired. I'll start Monday. I'm not built like that. Those aren't facts. They're scripts, and you've been repeating them for years. Your identity is shaped by repetition. If you constantly tell yourself you're average, your brain will prove it. Here's the shift. You don't negotiate with weakness. You command yourself. Not emotionally, not loudly, calmly. I said I'd train, so I train. I said I'd work, so I work. No drama, no debate. Authority. That's mastery. The third battle is environment. You cannot win a mental war inside a weak setup. If distractions are one swipe away, if your circle normalizes mediocrity, if your room reflects chaos, your mind absorbs that standard. Strong men design friction. Phone away while working. Gym clothes ready before sleep. Clean workspace. Disciplined circle. They don't rely on motivation. They remove temptation. That's strategic control. Here's what nobody talks about. When you start mastering your mind, people will feel it. You become quieter, more focused, less reactive. You stop explaining yourself. You stop seeking validation. You move differently. Not loud, not arrogant, controlled. And control is intimidating because most people are slaves to impulse. When you aren't, you stand out. So here's the question. Are you going to keep negotiating with the weakest voice in your head, or are you going to take command? Because this isn't about productivity, it's about identity. Every day you either reinforce control or reinforce average. There is no neutral. The man who masters his mind builds his body, builds his money, builds his future. The man who doesn't builds regret. And regret is heavy, heavier than discipline will ever be. You don't need more motivation. You need mental authority. And that starts today, not with a dramatic announcement, but with one decision. The next time your mind says later, you say now. Master your mind, or stay average forever.